I honestly did not expect to make a part 3 of the PWHL Arena Rankings, but I needed closure, and I think I might have gotten it. In part 2, we introduced the idea of a 1.5-hour population catchment area, basically asking, if someone is already a fan and has the time, can they get to the arena on public transit? That's especially relevant for weekends, when people are more willing and more able to take longer trips to see a game. But now in part 3, we're taking a different approach. A bunch of you asked in the comments, what if you only looked at people who can get there in 45 minutes? The 45-minute catchment area answers a different set of questions. Who can get to the game on a weeknight? And which casual fans could realistically attend without rearranging their whole schedule? For this ranking, I'll be looking strictly at the number of fans within 45 minutes of transit travel time. My prediction is that Ottawa might bounce back, but I think the Prudential Center could still be a dark horse for number 1. Okay, let's find out. In 6th place is Tsongas Center, home of the Boston Fleet with a population catchment of only 35,000. No surprises here. In 5th place is TD Place, home of the Ottawa Charge with a population catchment of 171,000. I'm so sorry to you, Ottawa. I was rooting for you, but you keep falling lower and lower down this list. Even though the area around the arena is super walkable and bikeable, its Achilles heel is that TD Place only has bus service and isn't served directly by rail. This ranking also doesn't take into account any free shuttles that might be running on game day. In 4th place is Xcel Energy Center, home of the Minnesota Frost, with a population catchment of 267,000. As you can see, when we decrease the transit time to only 45 minutes, only St. Paul is included in the catchment area. Although fans in Minneapolis can get to games on public transit, their trips are going to be long and they might not be able to make it on weekdays. In 3rd place is Coca-Cola Coliseum, home of the Toronto Sceptres, with a population catchment of 425,000. This arena is centrally located and has multiple rail and bus lines running through it, which makes it able to cover a lot of ground. Okay, drum roll for the top 2. In 2nd place is Prudential Center, home of the New York Sirens, with a population catchment of 500,000. When we reduce the travel time to 45 minutes, the catchment only really covers New Jersey, which might not be ideal for a team with New York in its name, but it is covering a lot of densely populated areas. Regardless of any commuter transit to New York, there are 10 different bus lines running within 0.1 mile of the arena, as well as Newark Light Rail. In 1st place is Place Belle, home of the Montreal Victoire, with a whopping population catchment of 756,000. This is a huge jump up from 2nd and 3rd place, so what's different? The first thing that jumps out to me here is that this is the only arena that has direct, frequent rail service. The 2 line is a subway that comes every 8 minutes and it's grade separated, so this greatly extends the catchment area. You also have a lot of other bus lines running through this area. Now, anecdotally, I thought this arena was convenient, but I did not expect these numbers for Montreal. I'm just really happy that the Victoire get to play in an arena that is so well served by transit. Like, if I had a subway that could take me directly to go see MPP, like, say less. In defense of New York. So the New York metro area has this massive population within a 45-minute transit radius, but the lowest attendance numbers in the league. At first glance, this might make it seem like New York is underperforming to the other markets, but let's dig a little deeper and add some context, especially by comparing it to the Twin Cities. The 45-minute transit catchment area around the Prudential Center mostly just covers parts of New Jersey. Manhattan and the rest of New York City is outside of that range. It's a similar situation in Minnesota. Xcel Energy Center is in St. Paul, and Minneapolis falls outside of that 45-minute transit window. But here's the big difference. Car ownership. In New York City, far fewer people own cars compared to Minneapolis. So if you're outside of that 45-minute transit zone in New York City, you might not have an easy way to drive to the arena as a backup option. In contrast, folks in Minneapolis area are way more likely to have a car, meaning they've got more flexibility in how they get to games. Now, this is just a theory, but I'd love to see the data on how fans are actually getting to games. Like, what percentage are driving versus taking transit in each market? because that could help explain a lot of the story behind New York's numbers. What does this mean for PWHL expansion? One of my biggest concerns with PWHL expansion isn't which cities they choose, it's where the rinks will actually be located. Take Detroit, for example. A lot of people are asking for a team there, but unless they can play in Little Caesars Arena, things could get tricky. If the team ends up in a suburban rink or a smaller city outside of the metro area without reliable public transit, this would create a huge accessibility issue. I'm not sure what the rink options are like in Quebec City, Denver, or Vancouver, but let me know down in the comments. We can always take a look at the population catchment in part 4. And that's all I have for today. Do you agree with this analysis? Are there any other things I should discuss, and should I make a part 4? Let me know down in the comments.